Okay, my friends, here it is, the video that's going to give you hope, because a lot of you are under the illusion that now, mid-August, the season is done and that there's not anything else that you can plant fresh in the garden, but that's not the case. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 crops and some tips and tricks and stuff that you can plant right now. All right. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to establish when your first frost date is. So here in northern Indiana, zone 5B, 6A, it is October 9th. So we're about 55 days away from the first frost. So you can calculate wherever you are, type it into the search engine or whatever, and figure out your first frost date. And then you can go back 55 days. For example, Chattanooga, Tennessee is October 25th. Calgary, Canada is September 15th. So they're only 30 days away. You can still plant most of this though. So you have to figure that out, and then this is what you can plant about 2 months before first frost, okay? And a lot of all these crops that I'm gonna show you can take a frost. Not only can they take frost, they get better with frost. Because remember, this is how it works. The plant grows, and as it senses that it's getting towards freezing, it will shuttle sugars into the parts of the plant that it wants to make sure stay alive. Because sugar water freezes at a lower temperature than regular water. And so it shuttles the sugar to the parts that it wants to keep alive, and it just so happens those are the parts that we eat, like the pea seeds and the greens and the roots and all of that. So it gets better after it's been kissed by a little bit of frost, okay? So let's get into it. Now, the very first thing you want to do is get planting the peas. Don't mess around, okay? You don't have that much more time. It's pretty much last call for peas. But you want to look for the ones that say dwarf variety and earliest. Okay, because you don't want to get the big tall telephone or the sugar snap peas that get 6 feet tall. Those spend too much time creating the infrastructure before they start setting fruit. So the dwarf varieties will set fruit in plenty of time. And here's a big tip. Soak the seeds for 4 hours in water, preferably with a tablespoon or so of the J-Dom microbial solution, or any of the liquid fertilizers that we've used. Just put a little bit of that in there as well, and that's going to help supercharge them, okay? Soaking them like that will speed up the germination of the peas by days, multiple days. It's crazy, so make sure you do it. Next thing is cabbage, okay? Don't mess around with cabbage either. You don't got much time. Use a early variety like the golden acre cabbage. Preferably you did it a couple weeks ago when you saw the fall garden video, but if you haven't, it's okay, because you can make a season, well, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see how to make a season extending hoop house. It's real simple out of PVC and plastic sheeting. I can make a video on how to do that, and that will extend your season dramatically by weeks. Okay, so let me know if you want to see that video. But that way we'll have plenty of time for these to come into full ripening, okay? Now, the Napa cabbage is something that you want to plant definitely, because it is very versatile, way more than just kimchi. It's good for soups and stews, very nourishing, full of nutrients, and it grows much faster than the regular cabbage. So grow you some Chinese cabbage, okay? Next thing is going to be Daikon Radish. Super good for soups and stews. It's not that pungent radish flavor like you might have in your mind. This is a totally different kind of radish, especially when you cook with it. And they keep for weeks and a couple of months in the crisper of your refrigerator. So get planting these, and they're also called tillage radishes for a reason, because you plant them and they can break down through hard clay soil and help to till up the soil in a very natural way. So even if you're not going to eat them all, just plant them and then let them grow and then die back over the winter, and they will nourish the soil and make it better for next year, okay? So now all these next things you can eat at any stage along the way. This is important because you don't have to wait for these things to come into maturity. That's why you can still plant them, and they can all take a frost. So the first one we're going to talk about is carrots. Carrots you definitely want to plant now and in the fall. Especially the Kyoto Red, they are better after they've been kissed by the frost. They get a lot more sugary and sweet. And so you can eat them any stage along the way. So you don't have to wait until they get to be full-size carrots. And it's the same with the beets. You want to get planting the beets now, because you can eat them at any point along the way. They can take some frost, not real heavy frost, but definitely you still got time to plant beets, okay? Next thing is going to be your greens, okay? Number one is going to be collard greens, because that is the staple. That is the nutrient-rich powerhouse. It's as nutritious as kale, except way more delicious. Kale is actually not really that good in my opinion, in my life experience with kale, which is vast. And so I always plant collard greens because they can tolerate super cold till it gets down to like in the teens. So collard greens are good. Mustard greens, guys, if you want to see one of the most delicious fermented mustard green condiments, leave a comment in the video that you, or in the comments that you want to see it, because I can show you guys how I ferment these mustard greens and they are like super delicious. So if you want to see that, let me know and get planting your mustard greens. They're only 45 days. These are super delicious to have lightly sauteed or in the fermented thing. Now, next thing is going to be Swiss chard. You still got plenty of time to plant Swiss chard. It grows real fast right now. And any of the greens, shijimisa, let me know if I said that right. This one I'm just trying this year on the advice of one of you guys, so I'm gonna give it a try. But things like bok choy, pak choy, all of the Oriental greens, also spinach, you can plant any of those ones right now. The kale, you can plant any of those right now and eat them at any stage along the way, okay? You could also plant the wasabi radish, which I planted last year and is absolutely disgusting. So there's that. But that's pretty much it, my friends. So, oh wait, the cilantro, actually, man, this is how you do cilantro, okay? You plant it in the springtime, you let it go all the way until, so you eat it a bunch and then you let it go until it seeds, and then it will die back and turn real brown, and those seeds become coriander seeds. But now what you do is you plant them right about now. So plant the cilantro seeds now. And when you do it like that, using the ones that just grew, you will create a very well adapted strain to your area. So that really works well. Guys, let me know if I missed anything, but that's what you can plant right now, about 55 days before your first frost, okay? So big shout out to everyone that is helping to support the channel, either through the link in the description for the PayPal account or the super thanks. That's all super appreciated. Helps me keep making these videos, and we'll see you next time.